All righty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I hope everybody's having a great trading session and happy Thursday. It's nice to be back. Alexander said, "Hey Blake, hope your vacations were good." Oh man, they were awesome. I was actually just, I can show you guys some kind of personal files, just so you guys can see, like. Well, let me see if I can grab a couple pictures really quick. For those of you not in the chat room, here I'll do it this way. So here, if you're not in the chat room, you're just, if you're on the live version, I just want to kind of show you what I shared in the chat room, just so you guys can see. That's Tinkerbell. That's their family dog, by far it's just such a cute dog. I mean, she's just so cute. But anyway, that's a photo of the two families as we were out, on the trail one day. And so, these are just dear friends of ours. We've known their kids well since before she was born. But our boys have been friends since they were like 2 years old. So. Jack said, "Afternoon, guys. I've been months away. Nice to hear Blakers in. Wow, didn't even know you were away. Welcome back then." Thanks, Jack. Yeah, actually, I just got back yesterday, so you can see just some of the beautiful pictures. I actually hiked up the mountain to get to this picture, to take this picture. That was a hell of a hike. So this picture is especially nice because of that, for that specific reason. This lake was just amazing. And you can see the reason why I want to show you guys this picture. You can see how clear the water is. That's like literally a river runoff turns into a lake, right? And then these are like lily pads over here. You can see them, like it is the most amazing thing ever to witness, I think. And that's Benedict, by the way, sees a bullish Gartley in gold when it hits 1600 basically, which I could concur with that. So anyway, Alexander said, "Wow, really great." And Jack said, "Nice pics, dude. Tinkerbell, that's your dog? Come on, I know it." No, it's not my dog. Speaking of one last picture, I'll show you guys just really quick, and then I'll continue on. There's a picture of my family on the top of that mountain after that hike. So you can, my youngest son's being kind of a nerd, but anyway, and my wife's got her eyes closed. Bad picture. I've got better picture than this. I just grabbed one really fast, but that was us on top of the mountain after taking about an hour to get up there. It was great hike. Really, really wonderful hike. Okay, let's get back to business. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't want to bore you with all that stuff. It's just, as I mentioned on the Morning Edge, it's probably one of the most beautiful places I've been in the United States. I've been to probably out of the 50 states, I think I've probably been to about 30 of them. And I know I haven't seen it all at all. I would not say that, but I've been to a lot of places, and this is definitely one of them. It's in my opinion, the most beautiful place in the United States I've been. Again, that's my opinion. It's just, and I've been to a lot, not every place for sure. But it's up there with Montana, the beauty of being in Montana. Anyway, let's talk about the markets though. I have to reiterate, the dollar is very firm in this environment, and that's something that we have to be respectful of. As I was making a little bit of a stink on the F.A.C.E webinar, the euro dollar is trading heavy, and that means the dollar index is trading very firm. And if you just think about this in a way of just saying, hey, as long as we're below this resistance, which comes in at 118.50, I think the risk is lower, right? So we're going to stay with that bearish trend, but we have to realize that this is now critical. So 117.75 That's really key support, because if that breaks, then the dollar is going to let loose. And you have to be respectful of that. I mean, if you're long the dollar, just think about it. Think about. I don't think this is the place you need to be adding to longs, right? This is not the place. Gear says, nice picks. We visited Portland, Bend, Eugene, and Coos Bay up north and the coast to Seattle 3 years ago. Great places, all of them. That's awesome. We spent with that family New Year's in Portland or in Oregon coast like 4 years ago or so. That was awesome. Yeah, that's just great. I loved Oregon. Beautiful place. Okay, sorry. Continuing on. Anyway, that's my view about the euro. Sterling. By the way, you notice how we're capped here at the 618 retracement. Can't get above it. So while we're below 139, you have to be bearish. I'm not short the sterling. I would like to be short the sterling. I wish I could get I wasn't awake when it moved up to 139. I think it was already on its way down. I should have just laid into it when I got up this morning. But sorry, following off of a trip, I don't have all of my I don't have all my ducks in a row trading wise. So, for me just to start slinging out, trades like that, as soon as I get up, it's kind of difficult, especially when I'm working on just a few hours of sleep. So, all right. So support here in the sterling, I would say is right here. If I have to, just guess, it's going to be right there, right? So below I mean, we might as well mark up 138. We get below 138, we should test those lows. When I say those lows, that would be 137 and a quarter. And I might as well just mark that up too, just in case we start breaking. I mean, I'm in the camp that the dollar looks very much like it's going to rip. It's going to rip higher hard. What do you guys know? And I'm going to ask you this question really quick before we continue on. Do you know why I'm thinking that today could be the day where the dollar really takes off? Any idea? Not because of Powell, not because of anything from macro standpoint, but that could be the reason that could be what pushes it over. But anything that you see from a correlation standpoint that might stick out, anything that you guys can think of as I'm going through this analysis, you guys can just answer in the chat box if you want while I'm going through the analysis. Jane, you're spot on. Okay, but I'll let the rest of you guys answer. Aussie. So the Aussie is on support, right? So if we start breaking below 74 and a quarter, obviously 74 cents is the big kahuna, but I think 74 and a quarter. We're bearish. While we're below 74.85. Okay. Kiwi. Now, I haven't messed around with this chart. You can see a lot of my charts haven't been updated since I've been back, obviously, because I got back last night, and I was one of those, I got back and I had to deal with, our house, and, we had my nephew was holding down the fort. I had my dog, my big dog, ate through some stuff where she had to get her stomach pumped while I was gone. And then, it's just, I love dogs, but man, are they a barrel of monkeys. Yeah, I said it. Barrel of monkeys. Okay. So let's get rid of this fib here. We don't need that. Really, you can see how I drew that trend line here. Peak. We probed through it. Peak. So this trend line here, I think, is pretty spot on, meaning that while we're below 70.50, we have to be bearish. Okay. And then obviously support is at 69.20. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? No one had guesses, only Jane, about why do I think that the dollar today could be the day that the dollar breaks out? Any other guesses? No one? No one? Bueller. All right. Dollar CAD. So you guys heard my spiel about crude. I think crude is weak. I think the dollar Canadian is at risk of moving towards this 161% extension and even higher than that. This is going to be horizontal support or horizontal resistance, excuse me. Okay. We'll just call it 126.50. And if I'm yawning, I literally am working off of 3 hours of sleep. So just bear with me. While we're above yesterday's low, which would be 124.30, we have to stay bullish. I'll put an asterisk there because that has to hold. Loon to the max. Tony says because I'm long dollar Canadian, so it just needs to break out. Okay. Alexander, good guess. Not what I was looking for, but it is a good guess. Dollar Swiss. So with yields breaking down, you know, I'm you guys know I've been a little nervous about the dollar Swiss. I've been a little skeptical while we've been below the 618 retracement. You guys remember before I left how many times I've written down 92.67, right? Because that was 92.70 because that was the 618 retracement. So let me remove that. So 91 is support. Resistance seems to be at 92 cents now because this previous support is current resistance. So 92, 91. We're going to just leave it at that, and I'm going to leave it in neutral. 91, 92. We're in range. Okay. Dollar, US dollar, Norwegian krona. So we're at risk of breaking higher. Resistance here will be 885. If we break 882, then that opens the door for 885. But I'm just going to write down 885 as resistance. 885. This is bullish. We're above the 200-day moving average, which basically comes in at 862. So going back to the 4-hour. So while we're above 862 in this low of this trend line right here, that comes in about 863. I don't think we're going to get there today, but we could get back down to 872. So I'm going to write down this 862, 872. Okay. Those are your two levels of support for the US dollar, Norwegian krona on dips. US dollar, Mexican peso. Now, I know I'm long and I know I'm bullish, obviously, because I'm long, but this is just really key support. I'm a little frustrated that the dollar Mexican peso hasn't moved up at all, but that is totally a product of that is 100% a product of stocks being just strong, right? Hey, so Powell's speaking. His testimony is going again. So let's just keep a heads up for that. Support right now is, let's just call it 1983. Or maybe 1982. 1982. Resistance right now is 2011. Right? We're going to keep that in range. It's right here. It's at 38% retracement. So that's capping us. Right? Dollar yen. Dollar yen. So we had this false breakout, right? And then that led to the break lower. I haven't updated these charts, so I'm just kind of revisiting. Yen's been off my radar for a while. I'm not really excited about it at all. So it looks like these trend lines don't matter anymore. Okay. Take this fib. Let me get rid of that. Delete that. Let's do this. That we hit the 161% extension. So that was okay. That is obvious support now. This right here is obvious support. It is a confluence of the 161% extension of that last leg higher, false breakout, right? So that comes in at 109.60. It's also, you can see it here. It is, and let me get rid of this really quick. We don't need that. It is also the 50% retracement of this entire move. So that comes in at 109.55. So if we break 109.55, that's bearish. Okay. I'm going to leave it in range because I don't really have an opinion of it right at this moment in time. But our stock's spiking higher again. No? Let's see. Oh, NASDAQ crap in the bed. Oh. Dow spiked up. Okay. Knew something was moving. Okay. Anyway, back to the analysis. Where was I? Dollar yen. So that is obviously key support, 109.55. Now, where's resistance though? Well, that's the 50% retracement right there. So I guess we should just mark that up. So 110.70 is resistance. Oops. Dang it. 110. All right. Dollar index. So dollar index, obviously key resistance at 98.80, 92.85. This has to be bullish. I know we need to break out of the triangle. I know this has to break. I'm very well aware that we have to break that. But based on what I'm seeing here and, how we're just consolidating up against the triangle resistance, I think it is at risk of breaking higher. I'm not saying that we're breaking out today. I think that's the risk is it breaks out today. But I think while we're above, wait, what is this? Let me just move that really quick. Yeah, while we're above 92. So basically, while we're above 92, we have to stay bullish. We get below 92, then that's kind of a game changer for the dollar. If we get back below the 618 retracement right here, we get below there, it's bearish. Okay. All right. S&P. So, I mean, it's obviously still bullish, and I think it's bullish while we're above 4,300. I mean, this, you can see all these little spike lows here, right? That's 4,300. See how we probe below before just bouncing. So we just have to say it's 4,300, and then the highs here are 4,400. So let's just mark that up, right? No need to get our, you know, getting all excited while 4,300 is in play. You know, while we're above 4,300, we get below 4,300, then we're back at, you know, that 4,260 level. Okay, move that alarm up, but then we come back to that 260s right here. 42, I guess it would be 4,250 roughly. Anyway, but while we're above that, and Nasdaq's getting the beat down. Georgie says there is divergence now at the third top. Yeah, I mean, look, you could say, you know, you could think about Dale's 3 drive. There's 1, 2, 3, right? Divergence. So that is, oh, Georgie says it was about the DXY. I don't know, man. I wouldn't fade the dollar index, but look, this is right. This is a 3 drive on the S&P. 1, 2, 3, divergence. Not divergence. This is a confirmed high. So I would think this is a 3 drive. So I think you should be bearish to the S&P right now, and plus 161% extension. I just I'm not willing to short it, but obviously the dollar's suggesting that, you know, a top is in, at least near term, right? So just some food for thought. All right, gold. Gold, silver, then Bitcoin. So, and by the way, I haven't updated these charts. So let's, silver, I mean, any way we slice it, that's resistance and this is support. So we, you know, there's 0 to do right here. So 2675, 2550. That's it. Just leave it alone. 2550, 2675, and it's in a range. That's it. Just leave it alone. Gold. Now gold's recovered back to the, I sound like my voice was crackling, like I was some sort of teenager. 50% retracement held. Well, I think we could get up to 1850, but 1835 seems to be holding for now. So we're going to call it 1835. Support. I mean, for right now, we can just write this down as support, which would be 1800. It's not great support, but I think it should be supportive on the way down. Just kind of leave gold alone too. I think we can leave that in a range. All right. So earlier I asked you, what makes me believe that the dollar could break out today? Alexander said that the S&P is trading heavy, which it is. NASDAQ, you know, the Dow spiked up, but it looks like it's going to reverse lower again. But it's really Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin is at risk of breaking down. And Jane guessed that correctly. It's a triangle. I do not have a Bitcoin short on, but I had to point out the triangle. You guys know that patterns in play, by the way, when you see a pattern in play, it is not, I don't trade them all. I trade most of them, but I don't trade them all. But I have to, if I see it, I have to call it, right? Like, you know, if I see Bitcoin breaking, I have to say, hey, we're breaking out of a triangle. I'm calling it. Whether you can trade it or not, but that's why I always tell you that the patterns in play are a good way to gauge bias. Like if I'm feeling that, you know, if I'm looking at cryptos right now and I'm looking at Bitcoin and it's looking bearish, then, you know, you got to keep in mind, you know, bearish Bitcoin could really, you know, weigh on risk appetite. So, and I think it's going to be really key, especially if we start breaking through 30,000 again. Now, since we are getting close to 30,000, I would write 30,000, but I'm not going to, because we actually did spike down to 28,700. So I'm going to write that down, 28,700. And I have believed, and you guys know this, while we are below 36.6, while we're below the 200-day moving average, which, by the way, the 200-day moving average at this point in time is a lot higher, because it's, remember, the Bitcoin came off a really big rally. You know, but I still believe while we're below this 42,000 level, we have to be bearish, and definitely below 36.6. That's what we had been writing down. But now at this point, we could probably write down 34,700. Okay. All right, guys, your bias chart is finished. So there you go. It's complete. It's nice to be back, guys. It's nice to be back with you all. And like I said, we have some exciting news that we're going to announce tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to my colleagues, Steve and Stelio, so I can go to the restaurant.
Hey, Steve is actually not going to be here.
Oh,
he's I think he's going to try and get his second shot. So it's going to be me. Let me just paste.
Oh, that's right. That's
okay,
right. Steve is going to get he's going to get his second shot. So that means Steve is going to be feeling like poo-poo tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, Stella, is there anything that you want to mention? I mean, I think I've covered everything that I want to cover. I just want to say that I do think that the dollar is at risk of breaking higher. I think now, and also if we get some risk off, one of the things that you might consider here is you might consider the Euro Aussie. I think the Euro Aussie, I know I'm not long anymore, but I was going to actually buy it yesterday at 158 and I didn't. I was going to buy it yesterday while I was traveling in the airport. I'm like, I should really be long this. And then I didn't. Obviously, I missed out on 80 some odd pips, but whatever. It happens, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't have that much more to say from what we talked about on the FA.C.E webinar. I think Bitcoin is the one that's really close to support, like you correctly said, and it could bring some action. But and equity is obviously a little bit heavy today, but really in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to blip. And as long as
exactly, another blip in the
we were looking at that when you were away that day when we were down last week on Thursday, and the people saying, "Oh yeah, it could be the beginning," and then you zoom out a little bit and you realize it's absolutely nothing. Obviously, if you're day trading, it's important, but for people like me, not so much. And I'm looking at yields, 10-year US 132. As long as that's the case, I really don't see how we're going to go significantly lower in equities, unfortunately, because I think we're very overvalued with any metric. So I'm still in a waiting mode. And currency-wise, I've been saying it for a while. I'm waiting for Euro Pound to get to 83 handle, 83 something, whatever. I think I'm going to start going long Euro Pound there for the first time.
You really think that the sterling is going to be stronger than the euro that much?
Oh, you mean to get there?
Yeah, to get there.
I
don't know. The sterling is trading so heavy. I'm not seeing it. Not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying, like, for me, I can't see it. I look at the sterling and I'm thinking this big double top. I know this is very messy, but man, this big double top looks like we're just gonna the bottom is gonna fall out of this.
Yeah, well, against the dollar, I wouldn't even want to be long now. But I think against the euro, technically it's a big area and it's going to be a magnet, I think. And when we do get there, I think it's going to be time to start getting long, and I think it's going to be the first time in 2 years that I go long euro pound. But I'm going to do that.
All right, man.
But yeah, against the dollar, I don't disagree. I think the dollar. I think it's. I used to be a little bit more certain that the spike was going to come and it was going to be a little bit more pronounced than this kind of feeble attempt at the spike. I think 94, 95 and DXY was quite feasible, but now I'm having second thoughts. I still think it's the most probable scenario, and that if we do get there, it's going to be a selling opportunity. But I do think the dollar is more likely to spike. So I am waiting with the finger on the trigger for Euro Norway, dollar Norway shorts. I'm waiting for Euro pound longs. I don't have anything at the moment. And I do have my gold and silver longs and the minor longs, which if we do get a risk off move, they're going to suffer a little bit, but it's okay. I have less than half of the position I want to have. So I have some gunpowder to use and, add a little bit more if we get lower. But other than that, I mean, I would love to short all bonds in existence. But again, there I'm not doing anything yet. The time will come when I'm going to be aggressive, but I'm just not seeing any signs yet. That's the thing. And one of the most difficult things for me personally has been to not trade when I'm not 100% sure, or not 100% sure, but when I don't have this strong conviction about something.
Right,
So
right.
unfortunately, I'm in a wait and see mode still with most of my positions.
Well, let's continue to wait and see. And a matter of fact, we might just wait and listen for Powell. How about that? So, Stelios, go off and enjoy yourself. I know we're going to be, you and I are going to be doing some catching up in a little bit, but
Yes.
but we're going to let everybody else, continue on your trading day. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember, tomorrow we got some big news for the company. Really, really big news for all of us. And I'll see you guys in the chat room. So
Thank you, Blake. Thanks, everybody.
hey, thanks, Still. And I'll see you guys for the daily roundup in about a few hours. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.